Okay. 2 dislikes, so we must be live. Yes, here we are. We are live.
Those were there before we started.
I know. That's if you ever want proof that there's trolls, there it is, folks. But okay, yeah, what a great way to start off the show today. Welcome, everyone. Hopefully, this is not too loud. I turned up the microphones because there's been a couple of people that have commented, rightfully so, that the audio is a little bit low. They particularly complain about it with you. And I think it's because I put the microphone so close to my mouth and you don't. But I did turn up the volume, so we'll see how that goes. How is everyone doing today? This is, audio and video? Good. Candy is the best. So we have absolutely zero plan for the live stream today because we've got plenty of things to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about. A lot's happened over the last week.
Plenty of things to talk about. First, starting off with that tank behind you. That one.
Yeah, that lovely tank that was so filled with algae.
The first thing that has to be said about that tank, folks, is it is not, there was not like some kind of major fish die off or anything like that. You took a bunch of fish out to spread them out and all of that, which was kind of the plan all along. And so, yeah, the tank was...
Do you want me to talk about it?
Sure, please do.
So this tank was really bad last week. I had a horrible algae bloom in it, and I didn't get to it like I should have before last week's stream, and a few people complained about it, and I don't blame you. Shouldn't have looked like that. But anyways, I did what I do with the algae bloom tanks like we had at the fish store. And what I've always done is take them down about halfway, and then I put the dose that you're supposed to put into a full tank of Algae Fix. So what I do is, like I said, I take it down halfway, I stick the Algae Fix in there for the amount of the size tank, which is a 90-gallon, and then I start to add the water back slowly, and it knocks it right out. It doesn't hurt the fish in any way, but it is something that I do pretty quickly. I don't let it just sit there. Anyways, again, it knocks it out. But the fish that I took out were the harlequins, and that's because they're going to go with the other harlequins that I had in the beta sorority. So they had actually been in there the whole time. I had got all those fish for the 90-gallon at the exact same time. So they were sort of quarantining, and they did well. So I put them with the other harlequins that I have in another tank that was broken down from my beta sorority getting broken down. So they're all together now, and they're doing great, and they're all schooling together, and they're happy. So, yeah.
Oops, wrong scene there. There we go. I like this one better because you get to see more, even though there's not a whole lot to see behind me. Everything behind me still looks the same. You've got this beautiful looking thing behind you now. It's a shame, but it's not going to be that way for long. In fact, we were talking about it today. Still undecided on what's going to go on there. But yeah, the people that were complaining were doing it in a joking way, saying, how come the tank behind me looks so clean and the tank behind you looked so dirty, which was like their way of picking on me, because that's what people like to do. They like to pick on me, and I understand that. Yeah, they were just taking a dig at me. But that's her tank. She takes care of it, and she takes care of that one a lot of the times too. But anyway, that tank it's just going great. I mean, anyway.
You didn't get, I just realized that you still have everything on top of the tank.
Yep, all of my birthday cards, Father's Day cards, a bunch of fish food, a bunch of stuff up there.
Yeah, so tanks do serve a purpose other than holding fish. They also hold clutter.
They're also storage units.
Yeah.
But yes, we do have a lot of stuff to talk about, but I did want to lead off with that 90-gallon tank because it did look pretty rough, but it's because there's a lot happening. There was a lot happening.
No, I had water change that tank. Like every week I was water changing it, and I wasn't getting rid of the algae bloom. And I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to do that trick and do what I used to do at the fish store, because all of our tanks in the very front of the store were by a window, and it wasn't just, we would get like 3 different kinds of algae in those tanks, but I figured it out and it works. So
yeah, and I don't know if you mentioned it because I wasn't paying attention, but you put the dose of the Algae Fix in there
Right.
while you're filling it up.
Well, I put it in, I let it sit for about 2 minutes while I'm getting the hose ready, or the Python, whatever, to fill it back up. I do let it sit for just a brief few minutes, but only because I don't want to deprive the fish of oxygen, because that's what Algae Fix does.
That's what we've been told it does anyway.
Yeah, but you know what?
It does make sense, because
It
we've used it
helps.
before and the fish go up to the top
Right.
gasping for air. So it does make sense that happens.
And
But
why try to Band-Aid it by just putting a dose of Algae Fix in there and just a full tank? Go ahead and do a water change, do it all, make sure everything's good, clean your glass off, do everything, put that in there, fill it back up, and the fish are happy.
and
just
you've never had a problem doing it that way.
I've
It's
never
always been very,
had a
very
problem.
simple. And it's always been successful. So that's good.
Yeah.
Even when it was in extreme situations like having the windows directly in front of the tanks at the store. So
and it keeps it from coming back too. Like as far as at the fish store, it didn't come back immediately. Over time, there were a few tanks here and there, but it worked way better than if in the beginning, I didn't know that trick. I would take the entire dose of the Algae Fix, suit it for the size tank it was, and I would put it in, and it really didn't do what it was supposed to do. I was disappointed. And then when I found that little trick, I was like, wow, that works. So
yep, works like a charm. It's been working beautiful ever since. So yeah, we don't need to talk about that tank anymore, because everybody wants to talk about that one, those, and whatever is going to go back here. So last weekend was an adventure. I'm going to talk about something that you probably do not want me to talk about, and that is that you had a little accident on Friday.
never mind, I'm not going to say it.
Well, that sounded weird. It wasn't one of those accidents. No, we were scrambling all day on Friday to get everything ready. If you've been following along with the channel, we got a couple of ponds that we were going to use, and we did use, to house the fish while we were moving them. You had a whole plan of what you were going to do with your fish, so that we could take our time getting the new tanks not new tanks, but getting the tanks moved into their new position, get everything set up and everything going. This one was pretty easy because I wasn't going to be doing any rescaping or anything like
Right.
that. All I was doing was repainting the background, which we have to talk about that a little bit too, because it's only a matter of time
Right.
before somebody says, is that painter's tape going across the top of your tank? Anyway.
I didn't even realize that.
So,
You can't
yeah, okay.
see.
Well, let me just go ahead and get into that. So, when Custom Aquariums builds an aquarium, and when you have them paint the background for you, which I definitely encourage you to do, if you're going to order a tank from them, if you know that you're going to paint the background, have them do it, because it's like, it was a beast to get that paint off. But the thing is, I've seen this in person with my own eyes. They paint the backgrounds, or they paint the side of the glass before they assemble all of the tank. So what happens is the entire pane of glass is painted. So when they put the frame down over it, I can't access the paint that's behind the frame. So you see a blue stripe. You can kind of make it out on the video screen here a little bit. You can see the blue stripe going across the
I
top.
don't think anyone would have known
Somebody noticed it on the bottom, and that's because I don't have the substrate pushed all the way back. But it just is what it is. I would encourage you, if you're going to contact me to order an aquarium through Custom Aquariums, have them do it, because it is immaculate, and the paint, I went through like 15 razor blades to get that paint off of there. It is on there solid as a rock. And every time I've ever painted a tank, you can just peel it off. It's like it's nothing. I don't know what they use there, but it is some really, really good stuff. So that was the only real alteration that I had to make to that tank. So that was just a matter of moving it down here. But yours, you had, that was quite an adventure. And the thing is,
that took a while.
On Friday, I'm doing my work. I'm also filming a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, and we're getting everything ready. You fell off the ladder.
I fell off the ladder.
She wears sandals on a ladder. The sandals
not anymore
get caught on the ladder, and she ends up on her booty on the ground.
I don't know what happened, but I feel like I hit everything on the way down. And
you did kind of pinball. You hit the rack, you hit the floor, you hit you were kind of bouncing.
Crazy. My shoulder was killing me. I thought I like messed up my rotator. I just like, I don't know, but that hurt. I sat there or laid there and I was like, did I break anything? Is John going to help me?
I was standing right there. How would you even?
But it happened so fast, and you were over there so quick. But there was that brief moment where like, I didn't even know if I was conscious or if I was dreaming. It was unreal, and it's concrete.
We've got some stuff happening on camera here that it might even be happening in 2 different locations. It's not going to amount to any fry, though, folks. So. There's some confusion going on in that tank.
Funny story, real quick. I do a lot of videoing of bunnies outside because I have a lot of bunnies in my yard and they're so cute. So I'll pick up my phone and I'll start, recording them and everything because they like to hop around everywhere. Well, I was about 45 seconds into this video and it became X-rated, and I just had I never thought they were like that.
The rabbits got X-rated, not anything else.
In the daytime, I was like, geez.
Right there in front of everybody.
And all the other
Full
rabbits.
display.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. So that's a sign that your African cichlids are really, really happy and they're really comfortable, is when the males, they do their thing. You know things are good. Conditions are right. In there, the males are so happy that they just want to do things. Listen,
they just want to be happy.
There's a lot happening on YouTube right now. There's a lot of channels getting taken down. No fish channels or anything like that. But you got to be real careful with what you say on YouTube anymore. So I can't even talk about that. But you can see it happening in the corner there, right before your very eyes. But if you got a chance to see the video on Tuesday, you know that that things went very smoothly. We did not have any complications, any accidents, not even any close calls here. It was actually
except me before we started.
Yeah, the day before you plummeted, but we knew you weren't going to be carrying any tanks anyway.
Thank
goodness. It was it went off very smoothly. And the interesting thing about it, we planned this for. I mean, it's not like we were sitting there nonstop planning this, but it was something we were planning and logistically trying to work out for months, because what else are you going to do in the quarantine? We talked about different strategies and different things that we were going to do, and the whole thing took an hour.
I know.
Done in an hour.
And I made a joke about that. I was like, David's going to show up at 1 o'clock. He's going to be like, I've got things to do. I need to leave. I got somewhere to go. I joked. I was like, he's going to be ready to leave by 2 o'clock. And we were done, or you guys were all done at like 2:03.
Yep. And we started at 1 o'clock. Now, of course, that's just moving the stands, moving the glass boxes. That took an hour.
Right.
Everything else took a considerable amount longer than that.
Yeah.
And that's also
still taking time for me.
Yeah, pretty much all day. On Friday, we were both getting things ready. We took the substrate out of all 3 tanks, completely out of all 3 tanks. So there was a lot of build up to it, and then there's a lot to do afterwards. Now this tank is completely done, with the only exception being I'm going to paint the stand. I love oak.
And add some more fish.
And I'm going to add some more fish, yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit later today. You have a lot of work ahead of you.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reasons for that. Some we can talk about, some we can't. It's nothing controversial. There's no fish have died or anything like that. It's just we're waiting on some stuff to show up so that you can finish yours. But the good thing about it is your fish are all in good places. They're all happy.
Oh yeah, they're happy. They're perfectly fine.
Nothing wrong with it at all. So you can take your time. It's not a big deal. But you know what? If there's any lesson to be learned from the whole deal for us, is plan. This is something we were planning on doing months ago, and then COVID hit, and it was just kind of like, okay, well, we'll do it whenever. So we've had months to think about this and plan it, and it's 2 of us. It's not just one person. You know, a lot of people are doing this hobby on their own. They don't have a significant other that they're doing it with. So the plan is the most critical part. And it's probably not going to go to plan, but just understand that the more time you spend planning something like this, the better off that you're going to be. And don't rush. I mean, if you can figure out a way to do this where you're not having your fish sit in buckets.
Right.
Because that's something that we've done in the past, and that's very, very scary. Because it's like, okay, I've got a 12-inch arowana in a little 5-gallon bucket.
Right.
I got to get it out of there as quick as I can. And now you're rushing to get the tank set up. This is how accidents happen. This is how things get put together wrong. And then there's leaks and all of this. So I think the probably most critical element to the whole thing is, I'm trying not to sneeze, have somewhere to put the fish.
Yeah.
That's the critical thing, so that you can take your time. And if you can take your time, I know it has been for me, maybe not as much for you, it's actually a process that you can enjoy.
I think it went very smoothly. Probably one of our best tank moves ever. Even though it was just from one part of the house to the other, it was probably, I would say, the best tank move we've ever had.
It went very smooth. And as I said in the video, and as I said last week, there might be somebody who is exclusively a live stream watcher, viewer, and they don't know what's truly going on because they didn't catch it last week. We made the decision not to move the 360-gallon tank down here. And after moving that one, I am 100% certain we made the right decision.
Oh, yeah. I was nervous for you guys. Watching you bring this tank down and holding the camera, I was like, I am going to end up recording somebody getting hurt, and this is not, yeah.
The thing is, getting it down the stairs was not a problem. I'm going to encourage you folks to watch that video that I uploaded on Tuesday. It's done pretty well. It's gotten like 20,000 views. Watch that video and you'll see, if you can just imagine you have your staircase and our door is right at the bottom of that staircase. So there's not a lot of transition space. This is weird sign language that I'm giving you here, but when you get the tank all the way down to the bottom of the stairs, unless you have 2 Olympic power lifters on either end, because you have to squeeze it through the door, you can carry an aquarium like that easily with 4 people.
Yeah.
Easily, 1 on each corner. But the situation that we have with that door right there, you can't have 4 people go through that door all at one time. So what you end up with is the tank being like this, sitting on the stairs at the bottom of the stairs, and then you got to figure out a way to pick it up and get it through that door with only people on the ends. Mm-hmm. That thing is, I think it's somewhere around, let's just say 500 pounds with no water in it. That's a lot of weight for 4 people to handle who aren't Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbo. I mean, you need to be extraordinarily strong, and thankfully I was able to assemble a group of Avengers that day to help us out that were strong enough for it. But that was the biggest problem, and I know for a fact there is no way we would make that 360 down that staircase.
I'm
It just
so
would not
glad
happen.
You didn't
So
make that decision.
that conversation is over.
That didn't even make sense.
What did you say?
Make that decision? What do you mean? I don't know. Brain toot. Whatever.
Okay. But that conversation is now over, and I feel bad because those fish are not going to get as much attention as these do.
Yes, they are.
From me, and they get plenty from Reno. But
Reno. Those are Reno's fish now.
in a couple of weeks, we will be able to make an announcement on this live stream and in a video or however we choose to do it,
Right.
where we will be able to explain to you why we are going to be in that garage a lot more moving forward. So, but it's still something that we have to keep hush hush. But we got some progress on it today, big progress on it today, and it is so exciting. It's going to be so much fun. So now, moving on to this, what we're going to do back here, the answer is still, I don't know. We're getting something to go back there. The problem that I keep running into is, we have a budget that we're working with, and it's like, okay, I can get a complete setup like this, I'm pointing to the 240 that's right next to Lisa. We could get a complete setup, which I really like, turnkey. You carry it in the house, you hook all the hoses up, and it's ready to go. All the hoses are already cut to length. Everything is beautiful. You basically walk in, plug it in, fill it up with water, and you're good to go. I could do that for a 180 gallon, 6 feet by 30 inches tall by 18 inches deep, I think, is the measurements that would be. Complete setup, or we could figure out a configuration with the same budget and buy 2 tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And just have them butting up against each other. You want to
I don't think
you
they
want to put them in
should.
some kind of L configuration. I
Well,
don't know what you're
think,
talking about.
To me, I think the best, and I think they'll think it too. The best look would be to have one of them right behind you, where your stand is, and then another one right there where the goldfish is.
But that's already there.
Okay, what you do is you move it. Just saying. And it would just make more sense with the kind of fish you want to put in behind you there and in the other one. It would flow better.
Or you just have 2 right next to each other, butting up against each other.
I don't like that look.
One full of peacocks and one full of imbunas. And then the 240 would be nothing but haps. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's what we're going to end up doing. And the main reason why is because for the yellow lab tank to look the way I want it to look, we would almost have to do it the way you're saying. They would almost have to be separated.
Because it would look better.
If they're going to be separated, I don't want to do 2 tanks. I just want to do 1. Because the whole idea would be to have them right next to each other. That would look really cool. Peacocks, imbunas, that would be awesome.
But what about them? They're not right next to them.
I think I'm just going to do 1, and it's going to be yellow labs.
Good, just do 1. That's
1 6-foot tank, no problem. Blacked out. That's the decision. I'll probably decide something different tomorrow morning, but we'll go back and forth on this. The good thing is, it's not a decision that we have a deadline on. We don't have to make a decision today. We don't have to make a decision tomorrow.
I hope you make one quick though, because I really don't like that look behind you.
It's not very attractive. It really isn't. It would probably look better without that empty stand there.
Yeah.
So,
or maybe with a fish tank on that stand would look really good.
Yeah, your side though looks pretty daggone good.
Yeah,
it's almost like you're sitting in a fish room and I'm just in some guy's office with a bunch of bobbleheads. But anyway, it was an exciting weekend. It was a lot of fun. It was not a lot of fun. It was exhausting, but it was good to get it over with, and hopefully in the next week or so we'll be able to show your tanks off too, and we'll do a Tuesday video about that one.
Or maybe we could do the live stream with you in my seat and then me in my fish room, because I have a pretty cool fish room.
How are we going to hook up a camera over there, all the way over there?
I don't know. You're the technical guy.
We can talk about it. We'll see. I mean, hey, all it would take is a long USB cable. It's not a big deal. We could probably work something like that out. But there is the issue with the microphone, though.
Yeah.
I don't know how long, though. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we can at least get you halfway over there or something. I don't know.
Halfway is not good enough.
Be yelling to each other, hey, so did you read that super chat? You know, be halfway across the room. But
I mean, I would still own a tablet to look, you know.
Well, that's true. Speaking of super chats, let me run through some of these real quick because one of them came in at 8:30. You keep the fish keeper fish keeping. I love that more than you know. So thank you, Elizabeth. That was over an hour ago that came in.
Sweet.
So hopefully you're still with us and you got to see me. Thank you for that. The Canadian $10. Lori Schultz became a member, which is very exciting. Awesome. Fish Tank Barn, shocker, comes in with the $5. Nice job on the move. Ibuprofen Ice Cream Fund. It's been a lot of ibuprofen consumed in this house over the course of the last week or so, including by me. HEPA Aquatics with the $6.99 Canadian. Yes, John, you the man. See, I told you. You should take the blame for the dirty tank. Nice job, Lisa.
Thank you.
Hey, you know, she bought all the fish that went in that tank. She decided, you know, she was being nice to me by getting angels, but that's her tank. And I would gladly take care of it, but, you know, I don't know. She wants to do it.
I'm going to actually rescape this tank. I'm not happy with it.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
I got to do one thing at a time, though.
Lefty comes in with the $5. Thank you for hanging out earlier in the week, Lisa.
He had a stream.
Oh, okay.
And it was what was I doing? I was down here doing some maintenance on the tanks, and I went ahead and I listened to Lefty's stream, and it was fun.
Gotcha.
So thank you.
It was much appreciated, and I'll admit I was a bit starstruck. That's what he said.
So sweet.
Isn't that funny? Stephen LeBlanc. LeBlanc. I'm going to go ahead and say LeBlanc because remember Joey Tribbiani was Matt LeBlanc. Isn't that his name? So anyway, with the Canadian $2, lots of Canadians watching us today. 135-gallon Malawi tank. How many fish should I have? That is...
Depends on if you want haps or peacocks or just imbunas.
Are they all, you know, Morii? Are they all Rostratus? Are they all Livingstoni and Venustus? Or are they all Pseudotropheus? I mean, that's kind of a impossible question to answer with the information that you gave us. However, I have done a couple of videos on this with some kind of generic math formulas that you can use. So you would have to search it on the channel, but it's on there. And a lot of other people have done them too. It's just, I could tell you, you could do 26 fish in there and then you go out and buy 26 blue dolphins. It's like, that's not going to work in a 135. So
yeah, but I have to, well.
That would be a really cool tank.
No, but we had that before. At the fish store, the Dolphins had done their thing, and I had a 125 grow out tank for all blue dolphins. And we only kept them till they were about that big. But
that is an awesome tank.
There was a lot of them.
I wish we had done something better. Like the tank was very neutral colored, very brown, and it didn't make the fish pop like they would in that tank.
I don't even remember if we did a video on that. I don't think we ever got any footage of all those dolphins, but they were gorgeous.
Douglas Evans with the $5. My 75-gallon always reads 0.25 ppm ammonia. Even after doing dosing with Prime, not sure what to do, even reads that after water changes.
Maybe, is it your tap water? Maybe check out your tap water.
That could be something happening in your tap water. I would definitely be on the lookout for that. The Prime, this is the way I've always understood it. Now, I don't have scientific meters to be able to tell this. I don't even know how you would get one, but it's always been my understanding that What prime and all of those do is that it neutralizes it. It'll still show up in a test, but it neutralizes it, makes it safe for the fish. It doesn't make it completely disappear. I could be totally wrong on that. I've always told you, anything I say, anything you say, take it with all of the other information that you have and formulate your opinion. Don't just go by what we're saying. But that's the way I've always understood it, was that if you test your water and then you treat it with prime and then you test it again, the ammonia is going to be gone. I don't think that's the case. So the prime is helping it to neutralize it so that it does not bother your fish, but it's still going to read on the am I making any sense? I could be totally wrong, but that's the way I've always looked at it. But having said all of that, which I'm probably wrong in saying what I just said, definitely look at just straight out of the tap. Fill up a glass from your sink and test that.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then you might want to start considering outsourcing your water. I've had to do that.
I remember when we went to the aquatic experience, the water in the hotel had ammonia in it because Susie was losing fish. You remember? She either almost lost fish or they were struggling maybe, and that's how she found out she had tested the water. But yeah, they had to go to Walmart and get water.
Yeah, that's the thing. If your water is coming out of the tap, which I've heard that story many times.
I have too.
If it's coming out of the tap with ammonia, yeah. I had to drive to my sister's house and fill up 12 5-gallon buckets of water from her well long time ago. You got to do what you got to do, but that's unfortunately the only advice I could give you on that. King and Queen Cichlids, take my money for not showing up to help and move the tanks. Yeah, he's one of the YouTubers that he said, Scott from King and Queens, he said, oh, do you need any help? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know who's going to show up. And then he said, well, you know what? I'll be there. And then 2 weeks later, I message him and I'm like, so are you still planning on coming? And he's like, coming to what? What are you talking about? I said, we're moving the tanks. We don't need you, but if you want to come, you can. He's like, oh, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm giving Scott a hard time. If I would have called Scott that morning and said, Scott, I need you to be here today, he would have gotten in the car and come down.
No doubt.
But yeah, I like giving him a hard time. So thank you, Scott, for the $10 for not showing up and disappointing all of us. Eric Furlow, $5. We'll be moving about 12 tanks around over the next few weeks. We are putting vinyl plank flooring in the whole house. Not looking forward to it. Yeah, at least that's like moving them to the next room. And then you get to do your work and then you get to move them back, which is kind of what we did here. As long as you don't have super heavily planted tanks and all of that like she did, hopefully it goes a lot smoother for you than hers did. But my plants are everywhere right now. They're all over the place. They are everywhere. Yeah, but it'll be fun for you to put it all back together again.
Right. It's not going to go exactly the same way though. I've already been in there messing around with the substrate and doing things with that, and I'm playing around with it. I'm going to have a similar but different look, I think.
Brendan Timmer comes in with, I'm going to say Timmer because there's two M's, with the 99 cents. Nothing else. Just take my money. Here's my money. Take it. Spend it on what you would like. Vikram T, $5. Aquariums with the fish look beautiful behind both of you. Love it. Yeah, that tank looks better than it ever has. And I think that proves that it should be a rule that African cichlids be in aquariums with black backgrounds. I love the universal rocks backgrounds. I love the stone backgrounds and all of that, but the black just makes those fish look different.
Yeah.
They look so much more bold. And if you could only see how good they look in person, seeing them on camera, it doesn't do it any justice. To see them, they are just popping. They are happy. Yeah. Black background all the way.
They
So,
really do look a lot better. Much better than in the garage with the blue background.
yeah, I love blue backgrounds too, but it does not do those fish justice. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
I
And it
really
shows
liked
algae
it.
really well.
I really liked that blue too. I liked it mainly because Bob hates blue backgrounds, so
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, that makes me
but-
like them more too.
But now I see how much better they look with the black.
If that tank was full of angels, if it was full of, there's a lot of fish that could go in the tank with a blue background and it would look amazing. But with those,
Yeah.
because there's so many fish that have blue in them. I mean, blue has to be the most dominant color in Lake Malawi, and there's so much blue on those fish, you don't see it as much when the background's blue. So,
Right.
yeah, there's your tip for the day, folks. Black backgrounds if you have African cichlids. Lefty, again, happy wife, happy life. Lisa is right. Sorry, John. I don't know what you're referring to, but you're probably
I know
right.
what it was. The tanks being on both sides.
Yeah, well, you know what?
See, I'm right.
He's just agreeing because he doesn't want you mad at him, is what it is.
I would never be mad at Lefty.
Jacob Richardson with the $45. Good griefs. We've had some heavy hitters the last couple of weeks. Our analytics are all out of whack because somebody super chatted us $200 last week. What?
I mean, is that the same person?
I don't know. Is it? Is it the same person? I don't know.
I thought
Who was it that gave 200? Maybe it is. If so,
that
good
last
grief.
name, I believe so.
If you're the same person, then you are really making our analytics go crazy this month. But that's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much. I can't even. You can't thank somebody for something like that. For the new tank or tanks budget fund, enjoy the hours of thinking and figuring out your game plan. It's not as easy a decision as you think, especially when we don't have a deadline on it. It doesn't have to be done by a certain time, but the sooner the better. And if we're ordering custom doesn't, it's not as easy as just running down the street and getting it. You got to order it and it takes some time. And with the virus and all of that, I don't know if they're backed up even farther. So it's probably in all reality going to be a couple of months. If we ordered it today, it would probably be a couple of months, and that's fine. But so there is kind of some pressure. I want to get it ordered, but yeah, I want to make the right decision. So
Yeah.
And Jacob, that is going to help for sure. So thank you very much for that. Matt Man B with the $5. Why didn't you stick with the Universal Rock background on the 240? Well, I think I just kind of explained that. It's not that I don't like it. We still have it. It's in the garage right now. It is beautiful. It looks great in there. I was just ready for something different. If you look back throughout our channel, we have always had elaborately decorated African cichlid tanks all the way back. And I wanted this one to just be minimal. Ever since we moved out into the garage, I wanted it to be minimal. I was having a problem with algae on that background. It's not the background's fault. And I just said, you know what, take it out. I want to go minimalistic. And so that's it. It has nothing to do with the product. The product is a great product, but I just wanted to go simple and pop the fish. So,
Right.
Phil, I can't say your name. You're a new member. You're a new member of the team. Phil Boehm. I don't know if that's the right name, but welcome to the KG team. Travis Kelly has a different color badge, so I think what that means is he re-upped, I think. I don't know. Because I think the way it is, when you re-up, if you became a member on the live stream and then it renews the following month, it's going to renew at the exact same time. And so it would look like you became a member during the live stream again. I think that's what happens. But either way, Travis Kelly, welcome to the team. Welcome back to the team. Whatever it is, we're glad to have you. Shannon Fisher with the $2. Tank looks great and heavy. Go Pens. Ew.
Oh.
Poo.
Pens.
The tank is very heavy. But you ruined my night by saying go Pens. Now, we're getting hockey soon. Hockey is starting, and that's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting to watch the Penguins lose, hopefully. Natalie O'Malley with the $5. My husband wants more color in our peacock tank. We have mainly yellow and brown OBs. What do you suggest?
Oh.
Wow. We could talk all day long about this. My favorite peacocks are all the peacocks. There's not a peacock that is not attractive as far as I'm concerned. The males. The females are all going to be brown. You know that. They're beautiful fish too, but they're not quite like the males. Now, you said you have, what was it? Yellow and brown OBs. Yeah. So you're going to need some blue. So let's go with something like a regal blue, a lemon jake. What are some other predominantly blue? Those are probably going to be, I'm looking at my tank like I've never seen African cichlid tanks before. But those two, also the flavescent is going to pop for you real good because that's kind of blue, yellow. We have one.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see them, but I can't point them out to you. Flavescents are absolutely gorgeous, blue and yellow. And then, of course, you see the fish that stands out. I can't point to it. Stands out the most in that tank would definitely be the dragon blood.
Yep.
That's the one that looks white behind you. And the funny thing is, that fish, for the longest time when we were in the garage, you, the viewers, were watching that fish completely harass everyone in that tank.
Yep.
But guess what? He's not doing it anymore. And he hasn't been doing it since he got down here. Now,
I wonder why. Probably because I said, put him in last.
well, it was only like 3 minutes.
Keep him
though.
in that bucket for 10 minutes longer. All by himself. Don't put his little butt in there.
No, it's proof that when you have problems with African cichlids, one of the surefire ways of alleviating that aggression is confusion.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it. I think I did a video in like 2013 about this. If you create confusion, it's going to reset their brain. This is not scientifically proven. It's just proven in the behavior of the fish. If you have a problem fish, if you take that fish out, put them in timeout, and then put them back, a lot of times that'll reset the hierarchy and there won't be an issue anymore. That fish, I'm sorry, I'm going to curse. That fish was a son of a bitch for almost an entire year. There's been a couple of fish that he's killed. He has stressed fish out so badly that they eventually passed. It's been a huge problem. And look at him now. No problem at all. Because everything got reset. We took them out of that tank. We put them in a temporary holding tank, all of them together. And then a day later, we took them out of that holding tank, put them in here. Everything's mixed up. So now the fish that should be the dominant fish in that tank, in fact, is. And that's the rostratus, which is my new favorite fish in that tank. He is a gangster. That fish is ridiculous. I can't take my eyes off of him. He is the one in charge in that tank now. So just, again, I'm going off on a little African cichlid rant here, but if you have a troubled fish, get them out of there. Don't get rid of them. Take them out. Reset things. It could be doing what we did, taking all the fish out, redoing all of your decor, putting everybody back in. It resets their brain. And you have a fish that's a total jerk for an entire year. You put him back in there and look at him now. He's just one of the guys now.
And if you really want to see him fight, throw a female in there.
Oh boy, yeah. Then you got some real trouble. But yeah, I don't know why I went off that. Well, because I mentioned to Natalie the Dragon Bloods. Dragon Bloods are showstoppers always. They are amazing fish. They've got red, they've got pink, they've got white. Some of them have a little hue of blue to them. Absolutely gorgeous fish. So there you go. Daniel Gregory, do you remember that the strange E is British pounds yet? I do now. Thank you for that. And 2 pounds was donated by Daniel Gregory. I don't
Awesome.
know what 2 pounds equals in US dollars, but it doesn't matter because it is what it is. And Vikram decided after giving that super chat earlier that he wanted to become a member too. So very cool. Welcome to the team. I got to figure out where we're at here because people are confusing me because they've double super chatted. I love KG says sup with a million question marks and exclamation points. So sup to you, my friend. Stephen LeBlanc again. Sorry, the 135 Malawi tank is all 3 types, all male. Would 40 fish of various sizes be okay? Also, what is the pink fish in your 240? That's the one we were just talking about. 40 is way too many. If you're going to have all of them in there, 40 is too many. 135 gallons, you have to realize, is half the size of that tank right there. And we've got, what do we have in there now? Maybe like 16 fish? And it looks pretty full, doesn't it? So there has been days where I would have told you, sure, if it's going to be in bonus, sure, you can put 40 of them in there, no problem.
40 yellow labs.
Right. And the thing is, if they're all juveniles, they're all smaller, you could get away with that. And the way African cichlids are, it could be that it takes them some time to establish their hierarchy, and the population may dwindle down to 24 by the time you are all settled in. It's a shame that would happen, but it could happen that way. Then you're not in a bad situation. But don't buy into the whole idea that if they grow up together, they're always going to get along. That's absolutely not true. I don't care what anybody says. They will turn on each other in an absolute heartbeat. But 40 seems too high for a tank that size. I would cut it in half and see where you're at. Particularly, you can't tell looking at them on screen right here. But like the Livingstone eye that's down there in the bottom left corner of Lisa's side right now, I'll tell you what, I'll put it just on her. So if you see, well, it's kind of hard to point them out. But anyway, the biggest fish in that tank right now is the Rostratus, and he's probably about 10 inches, which means he's still got some room to grow. So that tank is going to look awfully full when all of those fish are full grown. 40 would just be way too much.
Yeah.
So, cut it in half, see where you're at. We want to add more fish into that tank, but I don't know. I don't know if we will or not.
I definitely think we should add 6.
Oh, good Lord. I would agree with that if we were taking the peacocks out and putting them in another tank. But 6 more, I don't know. We'll have that conversation another day.
We can do 6 more.
Charlotte Jackson with the $20. Good grief. Thank you for the beautiful look, Lisa.
Oh, thank you.
You going to talk about your shirt?
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, so I ordered this shirt. Gosh, it seems like forever ago. I guess it came from overseas somewhere. I didn't realize it. Anyways, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it says they deserve a beta life. And can you see it? I can't tell because
You can't see what it says on the bottom, but you can see the fish.
Yeah.
It's a beta in a cup.
it's a beta in a cup, and it says they deserve a better life. So,
It's really cute.
anyways,
That's an adorable shirt.
that's a good way to train yourself to say better instead of beta.
Let's
but-
not start that conversation,
Yeah,
please.
I'm still gonna say beta. Anyway.
Pixelated Moss, $5. What is on? This is so weird that this is happening. That we're talking about future super chats. It's almost like we're professionals. Like we know what people are going to say. What is on Lisa's shirt? Love the tanks in the
thank
basement.
you.
So there you go. There's your answer. You paid that money and you didn't need to because she was going to talk
Oh,
about
you
it anyway.
can't see because I'm like a minute and a half behind on my screen, but you can't see the words on there.
Yeah, well, it says on the
Right-
top of the cup,
right
they
up
deserve
here.
a better life,
Yeah.
and it's adorable. Fish Room Fever with the poop. He's become famous for pooping on people. He poops on Bob a lot. and the 99-cent soup. Thank you so much for that, James. I think
happy birthday!
Yep. He turns 59 today. I'm so excited for him. He looks really good for his age.
Oh, I didn't realize he was younger than you.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh. That's what you get for making fun of people's age.
Backfired on me in a big way. I deserved that.
You deserve that.
I think he's like 32 or something.
Yeah,
he's like a baby.
Young.
He's a little child. Pixelated Moss again with the $2 kitty cat. Loving the kitty cat super sticker, which you can't see unless you scroll back on yours. Eric Furlow, he also pooped on us.
Oh, wow.
And Pippix, I think I've gone through this before trying to figure out what this is. Pippix with the $1.50 cheeseburger with lettuce and tomatoes. And it looks good to me. Gilbert Sanchez with the $5. I was a member before a subscriber. I don't know how that happened.
Huh.
You know what? A lot of people... I have had it before where there's channels that I watch religiously, and then I realize one day I'm not subscribed to them. And the reason why it doesn't really matter, I want everybody to be subscribed. Of course I do. But you could see people's videos pop up in your home feed all the time and not be a subscriber to them. So you think you're a subscriber, but YouTube knows you like that channel, so they're going to constantly be suggesting the content for that creator to you. And so you're kind of like, well, I must be subscribed when you're actually not. But these days, folks, with the current environment on YouTube, I'm not saying this for me. I'm saying this for my other YouTube colleagues, my other friends that are YouTubers. We're fine. You don't need to worry about us. But I would encourage you to subscribe and become members of any channels that you truly want to support, because YouTube is becoming kind of a dark, dark place. And I'm not trying to be some kind of conspiracy theorist, but there's been a lot of stuff that's happened over the course of the last couple of weeks. And so, yeah, consider that. I'm not saying for us, we're fine, but for others, definitely think about doing that. And if you're not subscribed, then do it, because then all of this stuff is going to pop up. D Max, good Lord, with the $140. This is becoming crazy. Buy a few yellow labs on me.
Aww.
That'll pretty much
buy them. Yep, that'll buy them. Thank you.
I have no idea who I'm going to get those fish from. There's a lot of farms and breeders and retailers that we have working relationships with. And I'd be perfectly happy getting those fish from any of them. So I don't know. I mean, I think that who we end up getting them from is going to be whoever's got them
when we need
a decent size.
And when
because,
we need them.
Yeah, I don't want a little 1-inch fry.
Right.
Because people are going to be watching this for months, and they're going to be like, you've had that tank set up behind you for months and there's no fish in it. Well, yeah, there are. They're just so small you can't see them.
I don't know. That's the fun part of it. Like on my birthday when we went to Hans's and I got my discus, I got them as little
50-cent pieces,
little tiny ones. And I did it on purpose. Well, they weren't too tiny. They were small, but they weren't itty bitty. But I got them that way because I wanted to grow them out. I wanted to be responsible, for them getting to be big fish, because what's the fun of getting great big discus that are already grown out? You didn't raise them, and I wanted to raise them.
I completely agree. And yellow labs grow fast. You blink your eyes, and they're bigger. But
they're born and they're breeding 6 months later.
Yeah, that is true. And there is very few fish fry cuter than yellow labs.
Oh, they're so adorable.
They are the cutest fry. But again, that tank is going to be sitting 15 feet away. And, people would be like, oh, is that guppies that you have back there? I mean, so I would like to get them at least 2 inches. And yellow labs are so popular that they don't stay around at farms or breeders until they're 2 inches long. So to find somebody that has them at 2 inches is going to be pretty difficult. And we might just not be able to get them. We might have to get little teeny ones and just explain in every video. They're there. They're just really small. Who knows? But thank you, D-Max. Very, very nice of you. And extraordinarily generous. Good grief. Beth Bolton became a new member along with SD McDaniel. We're getting lots of members tonight, which is really, really exciting, especially after what I just said. Melissa Jeswald with the $5 a week without a fish/invert death for me. Yay.
Oh, good. Because she was having some problems, I remember.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too. That's good. Then a week without any casualties, that's a beautiful thing. Travis Kelly with the $5. I know John's favorite fish is an arowana. What's Lisa's? A year ago, that would have been a different answer than it probably would be today. But
no, I mean,
put all eyes on you.
Well, the thing is, I have a lot more of a certain fish, which would come across as it's my favorite fish, but I'm still going to go with discus, even though I have like probably 10 times more betas. But yeah, I'm gonna go with discus. That's my favorite. And to be specific, the Santarum.
Arowanas are not my favorite fish. I refuse to say that because I have so many. Oscars, love Oscars.
Oh yeah.
I love discus. I love Africans. If somebody forced me to pick a favorite fish, it would be arowanas because they've got the most sentimental value to me and all of that. But I have so many fish that I feel equally as I love them equally. They're like children, you know, you don't love one kid more than the other, although that one, you know, but shut up, I'm joking. It's hard to pick, and I don't have to pick. You're not forcing me to do it. So, but you know, if I had to, it would be arowanas. Like for you, you probably love betas just as much as you do discus. I love guppies. I love Harlequin rasboras. I love danios. I love rummy nose tetras. I mean, there's so many.
Now, I do have a connection with one fish in particular who is like super special, and that's Bubbles. And Bubbles is a beta, so, but that doesn't mean that's my favorite kind of fish. You know, I mean, the discus will be my favorite, but Bubbles is my one true special fish. So
I really think we should make Bubbles the mascot for our channel. I think we should do that. I would like to know if we got shirts made with Bubbles on it. I would like to know if anybody would buy that. That would be an interesting thing.
I want a Bubbles shirt for myself. For sure.
We'd have to get like, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. Daniel Gregory is just adamant about teaching me the difference between pounds and the US dollars. So how much is this, John? And if I'm right, 1 pound is slightly less than $1. Well, slightly less doesn't tell me a whole lot, Daniel. Come on now. Because that could mean it's 1 cent less, which would mean that's worth $4.96 US dollars. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me because I'm just as grateful for 5 pounds as I am $5. I don't know. It might be worth more, might be worth less. It doesn't matter to me. It's all love. That's what I love about it. So I'm going to guess. Let's see if somebody knows the math and can tell me. I'm going to say 5 pounds is the same value as $4.31 US. That's my guess. I
don't know.
No information whatsoever to back that up. I'm just saying. It could be $72.19. I don't know, but I'm just making a guess. SD McDaniel with the $4. Which is better, submerged water pump or regular? In which application are we talking about? Because if you're talking about pumps on filters, like hang on the back filters, some of them, more of them these days, are being designed with the pump that's actually in the aquarium, although that one guy said that they're not. Anyway, I showed on the live stream how that guy was wrong, but some of them have the pump that's inside the aquarium that pumps the water back to the filter box. Some of them have the pump in the filter box that pulls the water from the aquarium into it. My personal preference is the pump in the aquarium pushing the water back to the box. I feel like they're more efficient that way. I feel like it's better that way for priming them, getting them going when you first start them up, or when you do a water change, or if the power goes out and they have to restart once the power comes back on. I feel like they're much more efficient that way. And easier if you ever needed to replace one. Pop it off, put a new one on, it's no big deal. That's my personal preference. But I don't know any other situation that you would be asking me what a regular pump is. I mean, pool pumps are on the outside.
True.
So maybe you're talking about, I don't, that question is throwing me for a little bit of a loop, but hopefully that helps you. I don't know. Wow, this is, I'm looking like a real idiot here. Fish Room Fever with the $5. Thank you, Lisa, for that. For defending his honor when it comes to his age,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
No problem.
I call everybody old. James, you should see what I say to Scott.
Oh, he's so mean to Scott.
I mean, it's nonstop with that guy. So
Poor Scott.
I'm one of the older people on YouTube. I know there's quite a few that are older than me, but I'm one of the elder statesmen on YouTube, the fish community. So I like to make fun of everybody for being old because, you know. Anyway. Cajun Aquatics with the $10. Thank you for the advice last week. We put Hillstream Loaches, Purple Harlequins, Celebris rainbows. I'm saying that really wrong. I'm not a rainbow fish guy. I love them, but I don't know all the names like Bob does.
Yeah.
Rummy Nose Tetras with our beta in the 54 corner tank.
Oh, cool.
It looks amazing. Y'all are the best.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of the team, and thank you for being so generous over the last couple of weeks. Good grief. Marty Borst is another one that
Aw.
I don't know why, but always seems to be financially supporting us. I don't know what we do to deserve that.
You know what I like about Marty? He works at a shelter. Or volunteers. I'm sorry, he volunteers at a shelter.
I've already established what I love about him. His name.
Oh,
Because
here we go. Okay,
yep.
I don't want to talk about that.
And I made you look like a really bad person. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I'm going to watch when we're done live streaming here.
No.
If you haven't seen it, and now I'm completely having a brain fart on his name. Is it Jeff Gadd, Jeffrey Gadd, Jason Gadd? Hold on. Talk for a second. Because that's going to drive me nuts.
I hate when he does that to me. He's like, here, just take over the stream. I've got to do something else.
Yeah, okay. I
And
was
then
wrong.
I'm getting into it, and then he turns around and comes right back.
It's Josh Gad. I'm live on YouTube. I couldn't remember his name. Josh Gad. He's a comedian. He also voices Olaf on Frozen. He has a thing, if you haven't seen it on YouTube yet, it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. It is called Reunited Apart. And what he's doing is he's bringing casts from old movies. And he's bringing them all together via
That
Zoom.
Goonies one I saw you watching?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I watched Goonies last night. Everybody from Goonies. Even the Fratelli brothers were on here, which is Joey Pants and I forget the other guy's name. It's but all of them, Chunk, Mouth, Brand, Mikey, Data, the girls, everybody was on there. It's
Aw,
awesome.
That's cool.
I watched that one. I watched Ghostbusters and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And everybody's on them. Obviously, except for the ones that have passed. And when you run into something like that, they always do a really nice tribute to that. Like with Ghostbusters, it was Harold Ramis. They did a nice tribute to him. What was the one? Splash. I forgot. I watched it for Splash, too. John Candy, unfortunately, passed, so they did a nice tribute to him. But like Ron Howard and Brian Grazer and everybody's on it. It's just amazing. Josh Gad is the name of the channel. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I'm going to watch the Reunited Apart episode on Back to the Future as soon as we're done here.
Oh,
So
how
I'm looking
long
forward
is
to
it?
that. I don't know. Probably, I mean, the Goonies one was like 30 minutes.
That's it.
Yeah, it won't be that long.
Darn. I was hoping it would be like 2 hours.
Yeah, do you hear that? Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox are both talkers, though. They're like me. So it might be longer than that. But
Oh,
anyway,
you should just go ahead and watch the next one too.
there's one for Lord of the Rings, too. I love the movie Lord of the Lord of the Rings series, but not as much as those other ones. I don't know why they haven't done The Breakfast Club yet. And maybe they have, and I haven't seen it. But they need to do all those John Hughes movies.
Yeah.
They need to do 16 Candles and Weird Science and Back to the Future. What? I meant Breakfast Club. All the John Hughes movies. They did a nice tribute to John Hughes in the Ferris Bueller's Day Off one too. But anyway, what Marty Borst was saying before I went off on yet another Back to the Future tangent, a lightly planted 90-gallon maximum amount of juvie discus. That's a question for you.
Oh,
Put the camera right on you.
Okay, so juvie. See, this is a thing. A 90-gallon with juvies, they grow up. So I would get a tank, or if you already have the 90-gallon, I wouldn't consider it just juvies. You got to think of them as adults growing up in there, unless you do plan on getting a bigger tank. But let's see, I had 10 in my 125. Or right
still
now,
do.
I still do, but they're temporarily in a 75-gallon. But I would not keep 10 in a 75-gallon permanently. And they're more like adults now anyways. But let's see, a 90-gallon,
I think you could do 10 in there.
No, I would say 7. And the reason why I say that is because juvies grow up. And I'm looking at the end picture of them as adults. That's not saying that you can only have 7 discus. I would put some maybe rummy nose in there, or cardinal tetras or something, like a nice little schooling fish. But as far as the discus go, I wouldn't go with any more than 7 safely.
And the thing is,
I don't like to overstock when it comes to discus, because they don't want to be in dirty water, but neither do any fish. But
and when you buy them, they're only that big.
but they can grow.
But just think about it. That's a 90-gallon behind you, and 7 grown IHOP
Yeah.
pancake size discus in that tank would be dramatic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it might not be this overwhelmingly beautiful thing right off the bat, but when they get a little size to them, even when they get to a good 4
Yeah.
inches or so, that's going to be pretty impressive looking in that tank.
Getting 7 juvies, they might not pop a lot right away, but give them time.
I think
Feed
Hans.
them really good.
I think Hans would probably tell you 10 to 12 could be in the 90 gallon.
I don't know if he would do
But-
that. No, I don't think he would say that.
I think he would.
I
But
don't
it's
think
okay.
so. I mean,
You know,
I can message him right now and ask him.
ask him. Do it.
I will
We're going to
do
do it right now. She's trying to name drop, even though I'm the one that brought him up. There's no way in the world he's watching this right now, but we'll see what he says. See if he answers us in the next 22 minutes. I bet you he does. He'll answer you in the next 22 minutes. Maybe not me. Phil, here we go again. I'm struggling with your name. I wish I knew the right way to say it. Have a female Jack Dempsey. It is very aggressive to other cichlids. Had to take out a green terror and an electric blue Jack Dempsey. Should I try a male? Not necessarily, because that female can be just as mean and just as nasty to the male Jack Dempsey. This is why you see so many South American cichlids alone. You might have them. I personally have never had a mean Jack Dempsey. They've always been kind of shy, and they've just kind of sat back in the corner and not really bothered anybody. But every single fish is different. And you might have just gotten a bad seed. You might, unless you have a particular attachment to that fish, you might want to consider maybe rehoming that fish, maybe make your life a little bit easier, or keep rolling the dice. But that's really the thing. I mean, especially with South American cichlids, you know, there's a reason why you see so many of them with only 1 or 2 fish in the tank. Did he answer that fast?
No,
he didn't.
I want to make sure I turn notifications on so everyone hears it go ding.
HEPA Aquatics with the $6.99. We're going again now on an hour and 10 minutes. All we've done is super chats, and it makes me feel bad about that.
It has been a while.
HEPA Aquatics with the $6.99 Canadian. John, Lisa, where will the discus be in the new gallery?
Oh, actually, they're going to be right behind me.
You can kind of see the shadow.
Which way should I move?
That way.
This way. Okay.
You can see the tank there, but just barely. The lights are not plugged in yet, so
Nope.
though they will be plugged in for next week. But there's nothing to see in there. The fish aren't back in there yet. It's just a tank full of water right now. But yeah, directly behind her.
Thanks, Bob.
That's Bob. That's Bob. Look, what an idiot. Just above.
On it. I'm turning it off, Bob.
Bob is the biggest troll on earth, I tell you.
31, 32 messages.
What's it, just like a dot every time?
ASF, SDF, D. 38. Thanks, Bob.
Unbelievable. Okay. Beth Bolton with the $2. I would absolutely buy a Bubbles shirt. How about that?
No, I saw a lot of people saying bubble shirt.
Fish Tank Barn with the $5. When I lived in London, the pound was about $1.35 per the pound was about $1.35 per 1 British pound. So that means, that just confuses me more. I don't know what that means.
You
so
just
that
don't
means
do math.
that means that 5 pounds would be like $7 American, right? I don't know. I'm going to get ripped off if I ever go to London. I know that. Did he answer you? Let's see what Hans said. The awkward silence as Lisa reads.
Oh, okay. No, it took me a second to see what he said. He said, 10 is fine. Talking about adults here. In 2.5 to 3. Okay, meaning the size 2.5 to 3 inch in a 90 gallon. So 10, 2.5 to 3 inch in a 90
And
gallon.
what did I say? Did I say he would say 10 or 12?
You said 10. You said 10 to 12. He said 10. When I asked him, I said.
Well, you said 7.
I said
so who was
7.
closer?
I said 7, and I told him that you said 10 to 12, and he said 10. So he kind of met in the middle there.
That's fine. That's fine.
Oh,
So there's the answer. Was that Marty Borst that was asking that?
Yes.
So
So
there you
I got
go.
this from Hans. Just saying. I said 7 just because I usually like to go on the, I'd rather be safe. So, but Hans is the guy.
I consider Hans what Hans says to be gospel. So
Oh, definitely.
another Bubbles shirt being purchased. Kaler Aquatics with the $20 pre-order toward a Bubbles shirt. I guess that's something that we need to do. David LL with the $5. Just got my gold Severum today on my 60 gallon. He likes to school with my skirt tetras. That's perfect. Severums they're not going to bother anybody. I mean, you say that and then somebody's going to be like, but wait a minute, I had one and it was a real jerk. And I mean, yeah, there are going to be fish that have attitudes. I've heard stories of a rummy-nosed tetra killing everything in the tank. I mean, that was a long time ago. But, that's one of those fish that I would be comfortable telling people to mix with their community fish and they'd be completely fine.
Right.
And the good thing about them is you can also mix them with big fish like I've done and they do fine there too. So they're kind of like an all-round fish and they're gorgeous. Mine are spectacular. Not as gorgeous as discus, but close. And they're one of those fish that they're so cute, you just kind of go, "Aw," and they're just so cute. So William Winters came in with $20. I think that's probably a bubble statement too, because there's no text attached to it at all. $20 to say nothing, that is extraordinarily generous. Thank you. Again, our analytics are just going to go absolutely crazy here this month from all this generosity. There has to be something attached to that. Good grief.
He said something underneath, though. If you go down a little farther, he did say something.
I'm just looking at the Super Chat page here. So.
Oh, you're not even looking at the stream? Then I'll read it.
That's going too fast. Yeah, go ahead and say.
John, here is an idea for you that may save you money. You already have the stand belt, perhaps, do a plywood tank with a front panel. Use black pond armor. Joey's looks great.
It's a very good point. I remember when Joey built that tank. I have seen a lot of tanks like those. To take your idea a step further, I've even entertained the idea of 2 4x3 tanks, 4 feet. Basically, the first idea I pitched to you was basically my tank upstairs, but cut in half. So it would basically be 2 180s. They would be 4 feet long, 3 feet deep, and 2 feet tall. And they could fit right on that stand that I already have built. But I don't know. I mean, there's a couple of different ways of doing it. What I don't want to do, to me, a stand like that or a pond like that is kind of something that's built to stay there forever. It could be moved, but it's like that's its permanent place and it's never going to move anywhere. I have too much ambition for that. I see us moving all of this out of here someday. I don't know where to. I know. But I can't see 3 years from now, we're sitting here doing live streams with the exact same setup behind us. I can't see that. So
and I would be perfectly happy with it.
I would be happy too, but ask me a year from now, and I bet you I'll have something different to say. I was happy in the garage. You were happy in the garage. Look where we're at now. I mean, it just is what it is. You never know. But I'm not making any kind of formal announcements here. I'm just saying you never know. Our YouTube channel has done extraordinarily well. Our audience is amazing, and they're growing like crazy every single day. Who knows what the future holds for us? So, but I just can't see building something that I would consider to be kind of like a permanently in place thing. Love the idea, but to me, like if I had a building, I'm not giving you any hints here, folks. I'm not saying anything, but if I had a scenario like Joey has with a exterior building that's completely committed to fish tanks, I could see doing something like that out there, but not down here. That's just too much. But anyway, thank you for the ideas though. Okay, and now we get back to Phil Boehm. You nailed it the first time. See, and I'm still struggling. You say I got it right, but I'm still struggling. Phil Boehm. I'm going to say Boehm. Here's something funny. There was a guy I used to work with his last name was spelled similar to that, and you pronounced it Boo-Hi. I don't know where he was from. Good dude. Boo-Hi. And it was funny because he would be, it was when I was on the police department, he'd be walking up and we'd be like, Boo-Hi. And it was fun.
That's kind of catchy.
Yeah. It was not spelled the same way as yours, Phil, but it was similar to that. So anyway, Corey Black with the $2 Australian. G'day from Australia. Love your videos. Australia's coming on hot lately. Coming on strong. I messaged Bob the other day, and I feel like a jerk because I don't remember the name. I would shout the channel out. Of course, there's Dr. Black and there's Aquamate, and those guys are awesome. But there's another guy in Australia that has like 30,000 subscribers that I'd never heard of. He's a young guy.
Really?
And I messaged Bob, and I'm like, how have I never heard of this channel?
What channel was it?
I don't remember.
Huh.
That maybe that's why I had never heard of it. But
Well,
good,
shout out to that channel.
yeah, young guy in Australia, you're doing a great job. I don't remember what his name of his channel is, but his video is really cool. And I was like, how is that possible? I can understand if it was a different language. Like there's probably South American YouTube channels about fish keeping that I've never heard of because they're Spanish speaking channels. And you know what I'm saying? That I could understand. But Australia,
Speaking of Spanish, I'm learning Spanish, so for a few different reasons, but mainly because my grandson is half Mexican, and a lot of his family, that's all they speak, and I want to be able to talk to them and have conversations because it means a lot.
Rosetta Stone. That's what you should get. Rosetta Stone. That's what everybody says is the easiest way to learn a new language.
Oh no, there's this really cool guy on YouTube. I've been listening to him, and he's awesome.
One of my favorite comedians who I went and saw this year, Tom Segura. His mother is Peruvian, and his dad is a white guy. And he grew up in a bilingual household, so he knows Spanish fluently. He does stand-up comedy routines in English and in Spanish.
See, that is awesome.
And he looks like a straight-up overweight, bearded white guy with receding hairline, kind of like a lot like me, but speaks very fluent Spanish, like with the rolling R's, and he's like has an accent and everything. He also has a podcast that he does with his wife in English, and then he does a podcast in Spanish too.
I love it.
So she had the idea the other day, what if I learned Spanish and we could do videos in Spanish? I think it's a really, really cool idea, but we're not Tom Segura.
Okay. Well,
But, we'll have to see how it goes. But I don't know. I don't think YouTube really works that way unless you're like a mega celebrity like Tom Segura, like an A-list stand-up comedian.
well, I'm going to learn either way, and
you should.
And one way or the other, I mean, I may be good at it, I may not, but hey, you never know unless you try, and I'm learning more of the simpler, easier things. I said something to my daughter today, and she knows Spanish pretty well, and I said, what did I say? I said, ¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo está?
Yeah, ¿Cómo está? That's it. I said, ¿Cómo está? And she answered some way, and I said, what? Like, I can say something, but I don't know what's being said back. So that's a problem.
I'm going to say hi to you. Just don't say anything back to me.
Yeah, just hear my words and wave because I don't know.
We only have 7 minutes left. Let me get through these. Anderson family says, hey you, with the hey you pair, with the $2. That's very cool. I love these pairs. They're adorable. And I don't know why what did I just say? I don't know why Google chose pears. Maybe it's as a troll to Apple, maybe. I don't know, but it's funny that they have all of their little characters are pears. That's cute. Reminds me of the show iCarly. Remember that? River Life with the $50. Good Lord, belated
goodness.
Congrats on 200K. It really is a party now. Thank you,
thank
Rack.
you,
That
Rack.
is very special, and we certainly don't deserve that. But
sweet.
very nice of you. Buffalo Photo for the $5. Just checked. 1 British pound currently equals 1.125 US. So 2 pounds equals 2.25. And 5 pounds equals $5.62. $5.62. That's the answer,
Wow.
which is $1.31 more than what I said. Thank you, Buffalo Photo, for clearing that up for us. Now we all know. Now we're all experts. Now we know that we can go over to London and be rich.
Oh, really?
But nope. No. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. We give our money and we get less back. So, poo. I thought we'd be rich. I was like, yay, let's move there. Deep fried apple pie in my eye.
And they become rich.
They become rich when they move here. Yeah. It's all so confusing. I had my Endler colony attack a beta. Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not, we haven't had that happen, and that's not cool.
We've never had endlers.
We've had endlers, but we haven't had them with guppies. With
Beta.
betas. We got 5 minutes left.
I don't remember having endlers.
Maybe I had them before I was with you. I don't know. I've had them before.
Maybe at the fish store. Maybe we had endlers at the fish store.
Probably. Petzotics multiple aquariums. That's a new name. With the $3. Lisa did algo en español.
Oh. See, I don't know.
Did algo en español.
Yeah. I'm learning. I'm learning.
She's been learning for about 6 hours. This is
No.
a new thing. So
I started doing this like 5 days ago. Give me a break.
6 hours.
I just told you about it today. 'cause
6 hours accumulated in that 5 days.
Shush.
Hey,
Don't make
you're a
fun of
busy
me. At
lady.
least I'm trying.
I know. I agree. Stogie Bear. That's an adorable name. I see what you're doing there. Became a new member. Welcome to the team. Charlie7842 with the $2, and I can't see the message. Let me see here. This page is weird. Where is it? Nope, that's not the right one. There we go. Nope, wrong way. This I apologize for this, folks. I'm embarrassing myself here. For some reason the page is weird, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go this way. Oh, it's just a sticker of a cat.
Aww.
Everybody knows that Lisa loves the cats. Had to join
kitties.
because of the Tom Segura connection. Yeah, Tom Segura is one of my absolute favorites. My sister took me to see him for my birthday, and
Last
he was
year.
amazing.
Yeah.
Last year. Well, yeah, because I just had a birthday. My last birthday, and it was awesome. He was great. He actually did, if you've watched the, what's his new, it's something Ballin'. His new stand-up on Netflix, it was that material that he was working out when I saw him. So it was really, really good. Yep. Okay. There's the Tom Segura thing. And then, okay. Would all OB peacock cichlid females be gray? Would any of them be blue and orange?
We've had OB.
Yeah. OBs. Yes. You
But-
can.
Some have a teeny bit of, like a pinkish color to them sometimes. Like a really
Dull, bland, but they would
OB.
have, it's not that they would have the colors, but they would have the markings of an OB.
And some of them look kind of a peachy.
Yep. Peachy
Creamy.
tan, khaki.
Yeah.
What are you wearing? Khakis. So yeah, that's yeah, awesome. So we got 3 minutes left.
And I have to say something.
You say it.
I have to say something. Ugh. It always makes me emotional when I talk about this kind of stuff, though. So I'm going to try to make it quick. But yesterday was 1 year for Caleb getting his last leukemia treatment.
That's
So,
amazing.
Yay!
And of
that's
course,
awesome for the overhaul. So
if you don't know who she's talking about, if you're new to the community, first of all, where have you been? Caleb Overhauls is the son of Candy Overhauls, who went through cancer treatment. That's how we all got to know them, and that's how they became a big part of our family. So
yes.
celebrated 1 year past all of those treatments that he was
Such a
going through
wonderful
for years.
time
So
now.
absolutely something to celebrate for sure, and that's awesome. You know, that was a rough time for all of us. So to have a year in the clear, that's a beautiful thing. So on that note, yeah, I'm glad you did that at the very end, because
I know, because I get really emotional about that, because it was
hard not to.
It was really hard times.
absolutely hard not to. So listen, we this was I don't know how to do these live streams without it being all about super chats. Now see, this is the thing, folks. There is no plan ever that all we're going to do is read the super chats. If you follow along with our live streams, it may seem that way, but I hope also know that we just got done doing them, and it's 2 minutes before our live stream's over. So it's not that we only want to address people that have super chats. I don't want to be labeled as those people that the only way you're ever going to get your question answered is if you super chat them. That's not our intention at all. It just kind of works out that way. That's not what we're doing on purpose. I promise you that. But with that being said, there was a whole lot of generosity here tonight.
Yes.
I don't know what we do to deserve that, but thank you to all of you who did that tonight, including Stogie Bear again came through. Ball Hog is the name of the special. Yes, thank you. Yeah, what did I say? Ballin' or baller or something? Yeah,
I think you did say ballin'.
Ball Hog. My favorite is still this something. Oh, I'm terrible. It's I don't know.
But anyways,
I love Tom Segura.
It's time to head over to Rack Stream.
Is he streaming tonight? I didn't check on that first.
I believe so.
I hope he is.
I think Candy is Rack streaming.
Yeah, there. She already streamed it.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
So, hashtag Caleb.
Yeah, hashtag Caleb. Yeah.
That's perfect. That's a perfect one for tonight. So, yeah, thank you once again to everyone for all of your generosity. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I usually turn it over to you, but we're already a minute late. So,
But have a happy 4th of July and stay safe. And again, have a wonderful weekend, a safe weekend, and go check out Rack.
go check out Rack's live stream. We don't want to be weird.
Oh, yeah. Go check
Hashtag
out.
Caleb. Yep, do that. All right. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next week.